Welcome to Now Trending. In this video, we're going to talk about Squid Game, everything you missed and hidden details. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to Now Trending for more trending videos. Since its release in September, Netflix's newest offering, Squid Game, has acquired a lot of traction. Squid Game is aggressive, dramatic, and immensely addictive with a vibrant cast of established performers and newcomers. The strong personalities and unique style of gallows humor add to the battle royale-like premise. It's the kind of show that, because of its meticulous attention to detail, almost immediately demands a second viewing. Almost everything in Squid Game is there for a reason, from the costumes to the scenes designed to the show's shocking ultimate plot surprise. If you know where to look, the show is full of hidden meanings and layers. We've compiled a list of Squid Game details that you missed the first time around. You might have missed these 9 Squid Game details. Number 9. Kang Se-byuk's true identity. If you aren't fluent in Korean, this detail may be difficult to notice, but it provides insight into the character of player 067, Kang Se-byuk. Se-byuk speaks with a North Korean accent around her brother, but a South Korean accent around her fellow contestants, according to Korean fans. This is because she's attempting to blend in with her peers to avoid calling notice of her ethnicity. It underlines the desire to be welcomed in her new nation and the lengths to which she'll go to persuade others that she's just like them. Number 8. Jihan's player number. It's difficult to figure out what this detail means, but it's there anyway. Jihan's number is 456, and if you go back to the beginning of the series, you'll discover that he earned 4.56 million won at the racing track. Fast forward to the conclusion of the games, and Jihan has earned 4.56 billion won. This isn't just a coincidence, but what does it all mean? Perhaps the repeated number represents how Jihan's stakes are heightened by the series' conclusion. He was ecstatic to receive the 4.56 million won, but the 4.56 billion won remained unclaimed for a year. This echoes what Il-nam says at the end of the series, that even the wealthiest of the wealthy and the lowest of the impoverished have no joy in life. Jihan's victories at the racetrack gave him reason to be optimistic. His winning money from the games, on the other hand, left him feeling empty. Number 7. Min-yao hints at her method of killing Deok-soo. The death of Deok-soo, a tough mobster who harassed the other contestants like they were kids on the playground, was the most satisfying of all the death sequences in Squid Game. Min-yao was determined to take him down no matter what it took after he deceived her after their passionate affair. Min-yao puts her arms around Deok-soo, leaned backward, and sent them both careening to their deaths while standing on the hazardous glass bridge. Oh, and in the process, Min-yao insulted Deok-soo's manhood. It was truly rather spectacular. When the group was playing tug-of-war a few episodes ago, Min-yao hinted how she would eliminate Deok-soo. She informs the group after her team completes the challenge that she felt far more strong when she leaned back during the game. Her most powerful move in the games turned out to be when she leaned back, this time with Deok-soo at her side. Bye-bye. Number 6. The truth about Il-nam's origins. While Il-nam's grand unveiling as the game's mastermind was certainly a plot twist, there were multiple hints leading up to the big reveal. Il-nam is player 001 to begin with. Player 001 is absent when Detective Hyung Jong-ho pulls out the data from the most recent games. The book begins with player number 2. Il-nam, of course, would not be required to disclose his details for the records, as the games are essentially his creations. Second, the name Il-nam means first man in English. Isn't that kind of suspicious? Il-nam may not be the elderly man's real name, but rather a convenient moniker for Jihan to remember him by. Remember how, in the first episode, the participants were allowed to vote on whether or not the game should continue? Il-nam had the final say and decided to call a halt to the games. If he was in charge of them in the first place, why would he do this? One explanation is that Il-nam wanted to give the people the option of leaving if they so desired, alleviating his guilt when the remaining players chose to return. Of course, Il-nam was aware of every game in which the participants were required to participate because they were all chosen by him. Number 5. Il-nam's grand exit. In episode 6, Jihan bids a tearful farewell to player number 1, his closest gaming companion. The old man appeared to be suffering from dementia throughout the encounter, but this was obviously part of his plan all along. Player 1 tells Jihan that he remembers his name, Il-nam, after Jihan has taken all of his marbles. After that, he's shot. Or so we believe. Jihan has already started walking away, so the gunshot is the only sound he hears. However, we the viewer never see Il-nam being killed. The area where Il-nam's body should be laid can be seen when the camera moves overhead, but it's empty with no sign of blood. Il-nam's aim all along had been to leave the games before the following challenge, which was far too dangerous to risk. That's why Il-nam didn't look for a partner before the marble game. If no one chose him, he'd be free to leave his games alone. Jihan had to get creative because he was chosen out of compassion. This is also why Minyao was spared by the guards after she lost her spouse. Il-nam was meant to be spared, but after being drawn into the marble game, Minyao received the same pardon Il-nam would have received. 4. Each player's death was foreshadowed. Many of the deaths in Squid Game were surprising and nasty, and a few of them took us completely by surprise. While the identity of the characters who would die remained a secret, how they would die was predicted long before the time arrived. King Se-byuk was seen threatening to slit a man's throat when he told her he couldn't bring her mother to South Korea, and later she died from getting her throat slit. Ali smashes his boss's hand and flees with the money in a frantic attempt to reclaim his income, which has been withheld from him. Sang-woo steals Ali's marbles in episode 6, costing him his life. Sang-woo is shown trying suicide by drowning himself in a bathtub early in the series, and by the 6th round of the games, he's actually drowned himself. Finally, in episode 2, Jang Deok-soo is seen jumping from a bridge to avoid the folks to whom he owes millions. He dies afterward as Minyao drags him off of a bridge. Number 3. Frontman actor Lee Byung-hun gets referenced in episode 6. Se-byuk and her partner Ji-young decide to forego the fierce battle in a favor of plain old-fashioned female chat in what is considered the series' most sad episode, episode 6. Well, sort of. Ji-young rationalizes that the 30 minutes they have left to play the game will be the last of one of their lives, so they should make the most of it. They talk about their past, their worries, and their dreams for the future. Ji-young makes a lighthearted reference to a mojito-themed remark from the Korean actor Lee Byung-hun's film Inside Men. What makes this fact so interesting is that Byung-hun is not only a Korean celebrity but also a member of the Squid Game ensemble. He portrays the enigmatic frontman, the mastermind behind the bloodbath. It's a nice Easter egg that also defines some Squid Game world ground rules. That is, Byung-hun is alive and well in his realm, but not as the frontman. That would make Byung-hun's doppelganger the frontman. Number 2. Giant murals in the bunker. The game's participants are eager to learn which tasks await them in the following round, as it may determine whether they live or perish. Knowing which children's game the group will play next is a significant advantage, and one for which some contestants are ready to cheat. In exchange for hints, Byung-ji, a doctor, makes a deal with the guards, promising the organs of the dead participants. He loses his life as a result of the perilous agreement. It's a pity because Byung-ji's skullduggery was for naught. There are massive paintings on all sides of the bunker where the contestants sleep. Each painting portrays one of the games the finalists play over the 6 rounds if you look attentively. All they had to do was look at the glyphs to see what the writing was on the wall. The view of the walls were hidden by the 456 beds that filled the space. The surviving contestants, on the other hand, should have recognized the obvious hint in front of them while the others were, being eliminated. Number 1. Ga-young's birthday present. We learn about Ji-hung's current situation in episode 1 before he decides to participate in the games. He's a big gambler who has won a lot of money betting on racehorses. He intends to spend the money on a beautiful supper for his daughter, Ga-young, but after the loan sharks take his money, he'll have to become inventive. He spends the rest of his money on a claw machine in hopes of winning a present. He loses patience and seeks assistance from a young child who knows how to win anything in the machine. Gi-hung wants him to win a sleek present box with a pink ribbon, expecting it to be something valuable based on its appearance. Ga-young, on the other hand, discovers a realistic-looking gun lighter when she opens the box. The box's shape and style are nearly identical to the coffins that would eventually be used to transport the eliminated contestants to the incinerator. It's certainly no coincidence that the present is shaped like a gun and a foreshadowing of impending bloodshed. Not to mention that the lighter itself alluded to the guards' method of disposing of the bodies, which was to set them on fire. That's it for today. What do you think of our video? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more from us, subscribe to Now Trending and turn on those notifications before you go. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.